Rashad Hussain is the U.S. Special Envoy to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. He joins us now from the State Department in Washington, D.C. Rashad Hussain, good to speak with you. Can you take a moment here and share with us your thoughts on this day? If you would, contrast the two images we've seen throughout this day: protesters storming American embassies, protesters in some cases being killed, and then the image of the Americans returning home to that moving ceremony just minutes ago at Andrews Air Force Base.
Well, let me step back for a second and say that the video that's been circulating out there that has resulted in a lot of protests is it's something that's disgusting and it's reprehensible. And of course, our government had absolutely nothing to do with it. In fact, it's been condemned, as you know, by the President and Secretary of State, and it's been condemned by Americans of all faiths, Christians, Muslims and Jewish people across the country, and it's been condemned by Muslims all around the world. But more than the video, they've also condemned the violence consistently. You have religious leaders, you have leaders of Muslim-majority countries that have come out and spoken against it. And I think what people around the world, including the vast majority of Muslims, what they want to see is they want to move past this and want to get on with their lives in a peaceful way. You have, of course, people that have been enraged by the video, and you see protests that are going on in various locations, and I understand why people are upset about it, but it's important to remember that I think the vast majority of people in the world, including the Muslim world, believe that violence is not an appropriate way to respond to the hateful depictions that are circulating out there.
So, Rashad, how much of the anger and how much of the violence that we've seen today do you believe is directly attributable to the video, and how much of it is organizations and groups taking an opportune moment to stir up trouble, frankly?
There's no doubt that the video has caused a lot of anger, and different people have responded to it differently. I've talked to a lot of Muslims who said that this has hurt them, it's angered them, but they've chosen to honor the Prophet by responding in a more honorable way, by responding by talking to other people about who the Prophet was and what Islam stands for. And there's other people that are angry, and they may have grievances that stem from their perceptions of the United States or United States policies. It's impossible to tell, but there's no doubt that the film itself has caused people anger. And again, it's not something that our government has anything to do with, but I think that it spurred a lot of emotional feelings in a lot of people around the world.
Rashad, have you been satisfied with the responses of leaders in this region to the pictures that we're showing now, the events that have transpired over the course of the day? I frankly have been a bit surprised that more leaders in the region haven't taken the opportunity to, for example, call this channel and to ask for calm. But I'm wondering, more to the point, whether or not you have been satisfied, the State Department has been satisfied with the responses to the violence from leaders in this region of all stripes.
There's been an overwhelming response from people all over the world, from religious leaders in the United States and around the world, from political leaders. It's difficult to generalize and say what's the response of a whole region when you have so many countries. But certainly there's been a number of political leaders out there. There's religious leaders that have reminded their followers in their sermons today that violence is not the appropriate way to respond to this. I saw a report of a prominent imam in Cairo saying that violence is not a way to honor the Prophet, and the way to honor the Prophet is to be peaceful. But there's, of course, a number of people that are responding to it. People have expressed that the video itself is disgusting, as have we. But you'll see that many of them have come out and also said that the violence that we're seeing must be condemned unequivocally.
Rashad, I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to sneak one more in here. And Sally, if we can see a few of these pictures again. And here's a very straightforward question to you, Rashad. As you take a look at some of the violence displayed in pictures from earlier today, these are pictures live now from Cairo. But the images of embassies being stormed, I have to ask you, is that Islam?
Absolutely not. I'm myself, of course, a Muslim American, and when I saw the reports about this video that had been produced, I saw the disgusting descriptions. I personally didn't go and watch it, but I understand that the feelings that it causes. But I also know, and I returned from Friday prayers myself, and I heard the Imam say that violence is absolutely not acceptable for a number of reasons. First, violence against innocents is always wrong. Second, in Islam, there is a prohibition against harming ambassadors. There's an honored place for ambassadors that come in from other countries and for their staffs. And in the Quran, we have a very clear verse: "Man qatala nafsan bighayri nafsin aw fasadin fil ardi faka'annama qatala an-nasa jami'a wa man ahyaha faka'annama ahya an-nasa jami'a." Whoever kills one innocent person, it's as if they've killed all of humanity, and whoever saves one innocent person, it's as if they've saved all of humanity. And another very powerful reference that says, وَعِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا وَإِذَا خَاطَبَهُمُ الْجَاهِلُونَ قَالُوا سَلَامًا. That when people are addressed with ignorance, there's virtuous people that respond in an honorable way. And that, to me, I can speak personally, is my understanding of Islam, and it's the understanding that religious leaders and Muslim leaders around the world that are stepping up and serving as responsible voices are really echoing at a time when it's badly needed.
Rashad, well done there. Rashad Hussain is the U.S. Special Envoy to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, joining us from the State Department in Washington, D.C.